To the closing ceremony, I was able to get the kids, the 3 seats together, but Carrie and I had to sit by ourselves in different parts of the stadium. But we had great seats, and yeah,
At least you
and
got
I
there.
thought it was reasonable.
Great. Well, today, for folks that are just tuning in, we were just finishing talking about getting tickets for the Olympics. And now we're going to go off into a mixed bag of odds and ends. As I mentioned in the description, have a whole bunch of mixed media. So we have printed items like postcards. We have 35mm slides, large format slides, and some 8mm films. So it's a whole combination of stuff, and I'll start jumping in with gotta find the share screen here. The very first one, we had previously done postcards from Expo 58, and I had not finished getting through them all. So I finished scanning them, and we're gonna go through a bunch of those and then jump into other things. So again, I have quite a stack of these Expo 58 cards. In each of these, we'll see 2 of the cards and then the description if you don't know what it was. But here again is the main view that you got, the fountains and everything going across. And this is general views of Brussels. So you can see the Belgian place and some general views. And again, this facade was put on an existing building, so it's a very short rectangular building behind it, but they added that whole in color. That would be a light blue backdrop with the Expo 58 logo on it, and it gave the whole area a totally new look. You can see 2 of the other buildings.
We're not seeing it.
I'm seeing
Yeah.
it.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
I'm seeing it.
Oh.
You're not seeing it? What are you seeing,
No,
Randy?
just the group. That's weird.
But
Hmm.
oh, do you need to change your view?
Yeah, I think it's your view.
All right. Yeah. And where is that again?
Top right.
Top right.
Looks like a little grid on the top right, little squares.
Okay, I see it. And what do I want to choose?
Gallery, maybe?
That's what's checked.
Try something like here. Let's see if you got 1 second.
You're not attached to any other monitor or anything like that, right?
No.
I'm using side-by-side multi-speaker.
Hey, Randy, I have
There's
tabs. at the top.
side-by-side speaker, side-by-side gallery, and side-by-side multi-speaker. Any of those will work.
Yeah, those will work, but then you may also have tabs at the top. I have a tab that says meeting and a tab that says Bill's screen. And if I'm on the meeting tab, I only see the participants, but if I click Bill's screen, then I can see.
Ah, yes, that makes sense.
Oh, okay, maybe this is what I need. Okay. Oh, no. Now I'm seeing a big picture of Don Lancaster.
Well, that's horrible. Switch it immediately.
All
That's
right,
the-
go
Oh,
ahead.
man.
I'm going to sign back in. You guys go ahead.
Okay, great, thanks. So here we have, sometimes you can zoom in on them and they get some nice details, but you can go to the tavern restaurant here. And that is the Belgian place and main hall. Oh, that was the other picture. And then coming here we go, Luxembourg. The trouble is you see some of these in black and white, you lose the colors of the national flags. And so many of the flags seem to just have 3 stripes. So is it the 3 stripes of France, or in this case, Luxembourg? Should we let Randy back in? Okay, we'll give him a try here. Obviously recognizable, the U.S. pavilion. These things must have been some of these pictures taken early in the season, which makes sense because you want to try to sell postcards to everybody all year. But you look at the tree, and I don't know what kind of tree that was. It sure didn't have a lot of foliage on it.
That looks like an Atlas cedar.
It looks like a what?
Atlas cedar.
Oh, okay. You know more about these things than I do. Then
A lot of these trees were left over from the previous fair. So they really pruned them back.
right, so you can see the pictures now?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay, great. So here's the elevated walkway they put in place, the Vatican Pavilion in the background here. Some of this artwork that was up here on the pillars of the elevated walkway. Same pic once again. I was supposed to remove the duplicates. I missed on those. But the pavilions of the USA and the Holy See, another name for the Vatican. And here, I believe, is the Vatican. There's the walkways. It's interesting, it had the, two different walkways, I guess one going whatever is north, south, east, west, or whatever, but there's big open space in there. And I don't think any of this survived very long after the fair. But it looks like it was a pretty expensive way just to put an elevated, transit from point A to point B. Yep, the church. Under the footbridge, and the view from the Pavilion of Thailand. I always felt that Thailand would look very dwarfed down here, and I guess that people could, I don't know where the nearest staircase down to this thing was, but a good distance away.
Oh, you could see it, Bill. You could see it
Down here,
right there.
Yeah.
it's been a pretty good distance away though.
Yeah. Bill, that overhead thing with viaduct, or what they called it, passerelle, I think is what they called it, was really heavily criticized by critics, by architectural and city planning critics, as it seemed to have been put there with no regard to the buildings around it.
Yeah. That's my impression of it. Just this big brutalist monstrosity blocking the views of things. Okay, the church again. And boy, we feel like we're back at the 64 fair, don't we, right?
Yep.
Yay,
I love
Bell.
that Captain Just the church.
Yep.
Doesn't say a whole lot.
No. Well, they had to fit it in several different languages, so that they were kind of limited there. Randy, what's the big one here in the back, the tower?
I don't remember. Oh, hold on a second. I can tell. I gotta just stand up and look at this map. Hold on.
Okay.
Let's see.
You can see people up on the walkway up here.
Yeah, I don't see. I can't make it out on the map. I have a framed map on the wall adjacent to me, but I can't make it out.
Yeah, so that was the constructions of civil engineering, the free carrying arrow of 80 meters. So again, it went out quite a bit. And then I got a kick out of this one. Everything you wanted to see in the thing in one shot. And so that is souvenir of the Expo 58. So all sorts of insets, and then down, the old buildings and downtown. And the little boy statue pissing away. Pavilion of the United Nations. I tell you, it's interesting how history repeats itself. This looks so much like the same pavilion they had at Expo 85 in Tsukuba, Japan. You wonder if somebody at some point said, what do we do? I don't know. What have we done before that worked? So but if you look at pictures of Tsukuba 85, this looks much the same thing.
Was it also a UN pavilion?
Sorry, what was that?
Was it also a United Nations pavilion?
Yeah, it was a blue dome. It was just off to the side of the gates, but it was again United Nations Pavilion at Expo 85. It looked pretty much the same. Which again, you look at it, go, oh, I wonder if Travelers Insurance got an idea for this for the 64 fair. And this one, is this Germany?
Yeah, Germany.
Okay. So Pavilion United Nations, the Pavilion of Germany. It was the Pavilion for Germany, but evidently somebody got it wrong. The Pavilion
Oh,
for
Germany, yes.
It's they just transposed the letters.
Yeah. The Pavilion of Germany, right? So this is, I always think this looks like a giant vacuum tube.
Isn't that what it is? It was a company that made tubes.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see their initials back here.
Right. Yeah.
Looks like the interior was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the guy that I follow on Facebook that posts probably about a dozen pictures a day, he lives in Brussels and has access to archives there. Just posted a bunch of interior shots of this building last week.
Yeah, I just saw some the other day. It might have been the same site. It was kind of neat to see.
Yeah.
And looking across towards the US. So that was the Pavilion of Commerce and the Giant Lamp, or the Giant Lamp.
Giant lamp.
You think he's going to make 1 million of these and sell them? You think he'd have somebody say, "Hey, Fred, you speak English. Would you look at this for me?"
Well, have any of you ever heard the story when the Marines had their whatever anniversary? This was probably about 20, 25 years ago. They made a bunch of watches to give to everybody, all the enlisted men, everybody. And they opened up the first batch that came. They were made in China, and the rest were on their way. And they had left the N out of Marines, so it said United States Marines.
Maurice.
My dad used to work for a Japanese shipping company, and he got all sorts of free samples and stuff for them, this stuff they were importing. And we'd bring home some of the stuff, and we would just laugh at the manuals trying to figure out what on earth they were saying. He would say, like, you can give my kids, I think I was like 12, 13 years old, a job as a proofreader. They could do better than whoever does that stuff. So.
Yeah, I'm sure Wayne will appreciate this because he's a photographer, and all of us have bought cameras, Japanese cameras at one time or another.
Yeah.
Back in the early 70s, late 60s, it was this tortured English. Like, be so kind as to hold camera in this position with left forefinger, and and it just was like, really?
Yeah.
When I worked for Motorola, we bought some kind of Japanese instrument for the lab, and the instruction manual said, "Do not place near edge of bench, as it may fall casually to the ground."
Back when I worked for GE in the Navy, we had basically going to a new type of computer system for the Trident submarines. And so I was put on a team of trying to take all the old analog computer guys and get them into the digital world. And so we put together this whole program of what you call it, training materials. And we were flying people in from around the country, but we had the manuals printed up for the Trident instructional training system. So we order again 500 copies of these loose leaf binders, and they come in, and the secretary opens up the box and says, "You've got to be shitting me." And I said, "Why?" And what was printed on the spine of the binders? The acronym for Trident Instructional Training System. Stop and think what that spells, right? So now 500 of these loose leaf binders are now sent to the Pittsfield, Massachusetts landfill, and now people are going to Project Tip Top, the Trident Instructional Program Training Operation. I remember we were all sitting there and thinking, how did none of us realize what we were ordering? So I guess you can do some stupid things and not think about it. So the inside of the church.
For
Interior view of the church and the Pavilion of the Republic of Andorra. That's a small one. Well, I know Andorra is a small country, so I guess they get a pavilion to suit. Any idea what they had inside there, Randy?
I've never seen any photos, no.
No, it looks so small. Well, I guess their big thing is postage stamps, so maybe it fit in. They could sell those in there. Canada, this was a really nice, colorful one for the real life pictures. It wasn't just, they had, I think Canada was up in bright red letters in that, but they had other colors and motifs in here, so it stood out. It wasn't just like black and white and glass. And again, one of the older buildings used in here, and then you could see they put this facade up on the other building back here. The Pavilion of Canada and the main hall front view. and another general purpose one, and a general purpose one at night. See, I'm even starting to learn what that means at night. Okay, this one I'm not sure. I'll have to see the caption here. So let's see. Okay, there's trains there. They had a number of.
And that's the transportation.
Yeah. So the first one is Benelux Avenue and illuminated fountains. So
Oh
Benelux.
yeah, it's taken from the Luxembourg Pavilion, and across that on the other side of the fountains is the Netherlands.
Yeah.
It's an unusual view. You usually see it from a different angle.
Land transport. That's the nice thing. You sometimes come up with these cards where the people got access to, viewing areas that the average person didn't. So you end up with totally different views. And then others, you end up with the same view from 2 feet off from the other spot they took it. Again, look at the size of these things. It's just in Cold War is going big time, and each of them is determined to prove they're the best. USA and USSR. This one, Randy, do you know?
I think it's telecommunications.
Okay. This is gardens.
Yeah, Gardens of the Four Seasons, I think.
Yeah,
Post
this is
and telecommunications, yeah.
telecommunications and the Garden of the Four Seasons. Very good. You ought to write a book on this stuff, Randy.
Well, I still have a memory.
There's the giant relief map. Again, you wonder if people get impressions. Oh, I'm from Oklahoma. I want to do a pavilion for my state. I remember when I was in Brussels, I saw something neat. It could be identical. You wish they had done so many of these in color, but I guess black and white was a big thing for what they call real photo postcards.
Yeah, all the postcards I have from this fair are color. I mean, like Kodachrome color.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say 70% of the ones I have are black and white.
Really?
In the park of, what was the gym? I'm not sure where that is.
Yeah, that was a section. When they built the 35 fair, this park was already there on the site, so they left it intact. And same thing in 58. It was still officially a public park,
Right.
and they used it kind of like at Expo 67. What was that area called where all the shops were? It was over in the amusement area in Laurent. But anyway, yeah, there were a lot of restaurants and shops in this area.
Oh, okay. Then we get some color.
That Austrian building is still somewhere in Belgium.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to recognize. I mean, if you look at it close enough, and you know what you're looking at, like all those panels have been changed out.
All right. Portugal. Okay. Nighttime.
Ooh, pretty.
Yeah, they light up nice. This is Germany again. By night, and oh, this time it's of Germany, not faux. Oh, good, they got it. This one I can always try to figure out what were they thinking. Why does this say Great Britain? I mean, I
Flag.
What?
The flag is probably what they're seeing, so.
Well, it is the Great Britain Pavilion.
It is. No, it is. But I'm saying why does this represent Great Britain? I just don't understand what the designer's intent was for it.
Yeah, because there was a much larger British Industries Pavilion right next to this.
Mm-hmm.
This was kind of like the official government exhibit in that building. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. It looks like it could be a church.
I No, that's certainly not the mountains of what you call it, Wales or something. It's just kind of different to me.
Yeah.
And then, oh, stamped at the Atomium. Again, Great Britain. You get another view of it. The tour, I think the final, or the next to final one here is the tour guides. And, you know, I don't know how old these ladies were, but the hairstyles and everything back then were just made everybody look so much older than
Oh, yeah.
than today. I mean, I was looking at some home movies that I was scanning of the fair, and then they had some stuff at some family thing, and everybody looks like they're 90 years old. You know, it's certain people definitely were different back then.
Yeah, I look at pictures of the two airlines I worked for, you know, of the stewardesses back in the 50s. And, you know, they had to quit when they were like 30.
Yeah,
They all look like they're 50.
yeah. So this was the Canadian Pavilion. As I mentioned, it had color in it and stuff. You can see the staircases here. And then the next one is the United Kingdom, the one that that Randy mentioned, the British Industries Pavilion. But I mean, again, I wonder how old any of these gals are. And there's one here, boy, that's not the best pose of somebody. I would, you know, say, I don't know how many pictures they took, but, you know, not the most flattering of photos. And I hope you enjoyed your Sabina holiday abroad. And it was so smiling and courteous, the fair hostesses are the personification of hospitality.
Yeah.
Sabina, only Belgian World Airlines flies to the heart of Brussels and then on to the heart of Paris. How long has Sabina been gone?
A while. I flew them in when I went to Expo '98 in Lisbon. I flew them to Brussels and then on to Lisbon. So I mean, not
Yeah.
quite too long after '98.
I don't know if they were still flying when I was going to Europe. They've been gone. Okay, now we're off, obviously, Expo 67. I bought a large collection of large format slides from somebody who took some really nice ones in New York in 65 that we'll get to. But in 67, he seemed to have not remembered some of the things he did right in 65, because a bunch of these came out blurry. I think he must have said the speed just off enough on them that, you know, it was frustrating. So when you see them on eBay, you go, oh, they look kind of neat. And then when you get them and, you know, you see them at full size, not on a little listing, if only he had focused it. But at least we get some nice scenes and views. So here we have the Cosmos. And then,
Bill, before we get off the postcards, I just want to mention that I figured out what the building with the red roof beams was at Brussels. It was the Coca-Cola Pavilion.
oh, the one from a couple weeks ago that you asked me to
Yeah.
look at, right? It was Coca-Cola.
But I cannot identify where it was taken from or what the other buildings are around it. Especially there's one roof that's kind of got a horseshoe shaped outline, and I can't identify it from the guidebook at all.
It's frustrating when you have that, isn't it?
Yeah, Coca-Cola was in an area that had like IBM. I believe that what do you call it? That radio tube pavilion was in that area.
Yeah,
Plaza.
I found some pictures of the pavilion from ground level, but they're so tightly cropped you can't see any of the surrounding buildings.
Yeah, it's every now and then you end up with something and you just pound your head on it, and then, you know, sometimes 2 years later you see it and go, oh, where was the other one I was looking for of that?
And
So this
another
guy's
thing about these slides, Bill, is It looks to me like the focus is good, but he used a very slow shutter.
Yeah, hang on, I'm just trying to stop something running here on my computer, which is running up CPU cycles and driving my fan crazy. Okay. Yeah, I think in this particular one, he just used the wrong shutter speed and it just the slightest amount of movement. I mean, this one came out nice and sharp. So we have down at the bottom an area called Expo Services C. That was again one of the cheaper things to let people build shops and snack bars and that. Obviously, off to the back, the USSR Pavilion. Off to the very left, you can see just some of their version of the luminaires. And the bright red are their public announcement speakers and emergency telephones. And we hop over here. We got the mini rail station, the steel pavilion. Again,
Could you go back one for a second?
this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm wondering if that's some kind of closed circuit TV camera on the top of that black thing.
I believe it is. They did have TV cameras, and yes, there is one up here.
And that is actually one of those illuminated signboards, but seems
Sign,
like
yes. Yeah. Yeah, so this would be the giant thing, you know, we're open late at night, come and see us. And you can see how wide they were inside to go inside and service them. But they had these cameras around. They went back to the GE Pavilion, which was the operations center for Expo. So if I can pull up pictures of that, but you can see they had giant maps of Expo, and then they had about 12 monitors on either side of the master control map that they could look at and observe things. Good eyes there. This is again early in the season. You can see, by the way, that everybody is you know, wearing heavy coats. There's not a lot of foliage, but you can also see when you go back here. Here's the Africa Place, and when it was open, it was all white buildings, and they then decided that they would go and put some color in here. So they painted a bunch of them orange to break it up. But you can see on the trees and everything, hardly anything is growing. And again, one of the Expo services area down below here, the restrooms and all that, and then up above we had just seen another shot taken from over here looking this way of the mini rail station. Pulp and paper, Kaminko.
and the USSR Pavilion is just off to the left.
Is it USSR here?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, up here.
Yeah, and then the group of the mini SSRs at the flags at the bottom.
Right.
The roof of these shops was the plaza that fronted the USSR Pavilion.
Okay, great. And then this is one of the Expo Express stations, so the little booth here that the operators hung out in. But again, interesting the little details that people catch and things. Then we get into so those are ones that I've gone through and done the color correcting and sharpening and taking out dirt and everything. Now I didn't get all the way into it. So we can see here the main entrance complex. Again, you wish he had been a little bit steadier on the focus on some of these, but you know, Autobus 174, why the sign is down on the ground, and you can see all the dirt and everything. I'll get taken out later on.
I think I saw none.
Yeah. Oh, there's a picture coming up later on. It looks like a nun convention. Yeah, people that love nuns are gonna get a kick out of that one.
No, it looks a little bit like a painting with the fuzziness, the prior one.
This one? Yeah.
No, yeah, it looks like it could be a painting.
Right. Indians of Canada.
First Nation.
All the flags back here.
I'm waiting for an expo that has Canadians of India.
Of where?
Canadians of India.
Oh, yeah. So the edge of the UK pavilion and France over here. Here's one of the signboards again. You can see how large they were. There's somebody on the line talk about how in between seasons after Expo 67 closed, between then and Man in His World, he and his friend got out to the site, which had evidently very little security on it, and they climbed up inside of one of the boards to see what made it all work. Oh, pretty good sized crowd around the UK pavilion, or Great Britain. It wasn't the UK pavilion. And what's the name of this one? Kaleidoscope. And the hovercraft, you can still see just the remnants of the concrete platform. Some of the concrete pieces are still along the edge of the waterway.
Yeah, I got it on eBay for like.
They just announced, this is Korea, and they just announced that the pavilion's been sitting there not being used for years, but they just announced and plans to revitalize the park, that they're going to do something with the Korean pavilion. So the folks that are up in Montreal are real excited that, you know, to have this thing sitting there derelict for 60 years, now all of a sudden they're looking to bring it back next year.
I'm assuming those plans include a full renovation of the Place of Nations.
Yeah, that's been underway, and people knew that was coming, but this just got announced in the last week that now Korea is getting into the rehab thing.
That's great.
I guess people were it doesn't show in this shot. There's a giant wood tower,
Right.
Korea, that's been lying there on its side behind a chain link fence for years. And again, you know, they're looking to resurrect it. Here's New York. Again, I guess these are supposed to be the mountain ranges of New York. And a general view looking across, we can see Italy over here, Czechoslovakia, massive pavilion. German beer garden. Again, Expo services, I'd have to look up to see if this is A, B, C, D, or E, or whatever, but again, fairly low rent economical buildings to put in. And a number of these lasted for quite a while into the Man in His World days. So here we have the expanded version of Thailand. Obviously, this is the part that was here from New York. Part of this was here in New York, but then they added on to it, put the royal barge down here. And you got Burma off to the side. Air Canada, done after a Da Vinci flying machine concept drawing. They had a good sized crowd in here. This was one of the ones I really got a kick out of. Just this whole, you know, cantilevered structure going up for
Looks
something.
like stairway to heaven.
Yeah, it does look like it. But something you'd never find in your hometown. But you know, that's why I love World's Fair. It builds really weird, wacky things. Then in the background, you got one of the dullest pavilions ever. It's a building from Maine. But you showed movies in here about Canada, and you can see quite a crowd waiting to go in. In Mexico, there's the beer garden again. Like I said, it's so weird that he has shots like this that are slightly blurry and everything. Then you get to ones like this that are just crystal clear. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, look how sharp everything is down here. You could probably zoom in on these things and tell who's having what for lunch.
Who did you say that building was from? The Dole building?
Tall building. This one, that's UK.
No, the one in the previous slide, though.
Oh.
With yeah, that one to the very left, the dull one.
Oh, Maine.
Maine? Okay.
Very. Everybody makes fun of Maine, rightfully so.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the Expo planners even allowed it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a blab, you know, drab slab-sided building that, you know, with a slight colonial look to it.
Yeah. And then
Again, get
during
nice
Man
sharp
in His
views
World,
here.
Maine had vacated. They ended up using it for other things that, you know, the exterior of the building made no sense.
Yeah,
I can't remember
Yeah.
who.
the one year they painted it bright yellow for something. It's like, you know, okay, it's even uglier.
Yeah.
Edge of Africa Place over here. Another one of the hovercraft.
Somebody had them on a dare. We bet you can't make this any worse. And yeah, we can. We can paint it yellow.
Well, then they painted Israel pink.
On each of these, I scanned them several times, and when I was putting this together for today, I didn't take out some of the duplicates. I'm just going to go through these quick. I scan them basically once, with nothing turned on. Then I do a digital ice to take out stuff, and then I do with the Nikon, the Epson dust removal. And I have to do cloning of one to another because one works well and another takes out something else. So,
Bill, can you tell? Go ahead. On the below this, there were two little booths.
yes.
Do you know what they're for?
That's what I'm just zooming in here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's see. Can't quite make it out what they are, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because they've got that little speaker thing in the window. Yeah.
It looks like it's advertising the Ringling Brothers.
Ringling Brothers, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. And they look too small, don't they, for people to be in?
Yeah, yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah, they could have been ticket booths for events like the Ringling Brothers circus that might have been appearing over at that auto stadium.
Yeah,
they had that little circle thing in the glass that like you used to talk through at ticket booths.
Right.
Yeah, and the little window that I guess I could handle the things. They just look awfully small though. If you compare it to the size of the person here, that you definitely cannot be a plus size person selling tickets in there.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, I'll have to look again for other pictures of the area. The telephones that didn't work real well because everybody in this side, your sound would go up, echo down, and the people over here would hear you. And little things like this covered up an electrical connection fault here. So, they needed to make any changes or connections. Rather than bury some of the transformers down in the ground, they put them up here and made them easier to get to.
They look like glorified trash cans.
Yeah.
Those.
If
you run into do you see any other trash cans?
But the trash cans are right.
Yeah, they're right here.
That triangular thing below the light fixtures.
And they found that they really made a mistake on them. They couldn't hold much trash.
Right.
Well, yeah, I guess. But they look like they're receptacles for something that you would put.
They were trash cans, and they realized they made a mistake. So they actually went out and they rented trash cans from other cities across Canada and brought them in and put them around the site. And then when Expo 67 ended, the city said we want our trash cans back, so they had to get new ones for Man and His World. But they went to places like Toronto and Ottawa and stuff like that, and made emergency rentals of trash cans to put on the site.
What you're talking about, the triangular ones?
These down here, these triangle, yeah, that's a trash can.
Okay, but I'm going back to those tall, thin, vertical things. They look like fancy trash cans where you maybe pull the lid, you pull the blue thing, and you insert your trash. Or maybe there's some sort of ticket dispenser. Maybe you push the button and it dispenses a ticket for something.
Yeah, but why would you have the glass with the speaker thing in it?
Yeah.
First two, I thought they were maybe big trash cans, like you pulled that thing out.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Well, they look like they're permanently out here, and we'll put this on the list of things to look for. Now that I know this particular area, I'm gonna have to go back and find some others. That's what makes it fun for looking at some of these things. Is like I never saw that before. So looking over at the U.S., obviously, again, early, the vegetation's next to non-existent. Then the place of nations, let's see, what are they selling? Get your programs here. Well, this is the Autostat. This is the other stadium. This doesn't show up an awful lot in pictures.
Yeah, it was way off to the side.
Yeah. So look at these booths up here. Yeah, I don't have very many pictures of the AutoStat. I'll have to work on cleaning this one up. So, and this is this would be the one Wayne would love. This was the International Broadcast Center. So they built the studio here, and they encouraged anybody from around the world to do live remotes from Expo, and they had trucks that would go out on the site and do live feeds back to here. And from here, they could get you all the way back to your country. And up at the top here, they have a camera up here, it looks like. And one of the theme pavilions. Again, very simple design, but how eye-catching. And this is the sort of thing when you see what Maine did, which was absolutely blah, and Venezuela, it's nothing great architecturally, but just by having such bright colors and such a contrast, it really, for me at least, it really worked.
Yeah, Venezuela has had some good pavilions throughout the years. And the New York pavilion was pretty good.
Yeah, New York, they had a giant thing about
1,000 over that was really incredible. It was this huge flower, and the petals opened and closed, and there were gardens underneath of Venezuelan vegetation. It was really impressive.
I remember at 64 they did a really nice simulation of Angel Falls that that they used a combination of different media and water mist and stuff like that. And the other thing, they had a giant iron ore meteor that they had on display there. So, and another one of my favorite designs, absolutely useless design, but pulp and paper, you're gonna have trees. In later years, it would be bright blue for Interpol, and yellow and orange for something else, and polka dots. You can imagine somebody says, "I got good news for you. I can fit you into the man in his world. The bad news is I got a pavilion that's covered in trees." And the steel, that was a big thing where they had smell-o-vision, where you had the actual smells of a working steel mill, and they would show you how they process iron ore pellets into steel. Man in the community. Again, talking about how man has to live with nature. So let's cut down all these trees and build a pavilion. The dichotomy of some of the thinking just kind of gets,
I wonder if all that timber was coated in creosote.
Yeah, probably. This is all open though. It doesn't show in here, but if you're in here, you could look up and see out to the sky. So they made a point when it rained, all the rain would come into the pavilion and go into the ponds down below, which had some fish in them. Then one of the things, being right here, you have habitat here in the waterways just off to the side. You had quite a few ships that went going by. Some would be parked on display and you could go visit, but others would just be sailing through the waterway and you could catch it. So this particular one looks like some Navy ship here, and then some cargo ships with the booms behind it.
And that's where Queen Elizabeth's
the Britannia
were there. And we may have discussed this before. I think, weren't there plans for her to stay in habitat, but her security said no, we can't secure it.
Right, yeah. Stay aboard the ship.
Yeah.
Which I don't think she sailed over on the ship. I didn't think, didn't the ship come over? She flew over and met it.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Mini rail, exceedingly popular way to see the fair. This thing was so massive, but it was hard not to be impressed. I mentioned Czechoslovakia, very popular pavilion, super popular restaurant, giant displays inside of glassware. When Expo 67 came out, the whole building came out, but for whatever reason, they left the emergency staircase here as a viewing platform for the rest of the area. I can never figure out why they would do that. I mean, you're taking down the whole thing, why they left that staircase there with someplace, some memo has got to explain it.
And where was the building moved to? It's in Canada. Newfoundland?
Yeah, Newfoundland, yeah. I guess they didn't need the staircase in Newfoundland. They left it
Yeah,
beyond.
they didn't believe in emergency exits.
Yeah. Ethiopia, hot and humid inside. This plastic roof really was a heat magnet. But I guess the lions that lived inside probably enjoyed it. And here's good old New York State. In later years, the LSD pavilion. Not making it up.
Not LDS.
Nope, LSD. That whole thing about, you know, how it was going to be able to use to treat all these psychological orders and disorders and everything.
Did they
India?
hand out free samples?
I don't know, man. I forgot. Oh, the Expo Theater. Then let's see who's starring in it today. I got. You can start dating some of these things pretty well if you get the schedule to see who's there. So they're saying this is coming in May. So again, this was an early shot. We're gonna have what you call it, the play. Well, I mean, you know, how hard would it be to get the M in the right spot, right?
William Shakespeare.
Shakespeare.
In measure for measure.
Yeah.
An old Beck.
Maybe that was William Shakespeare's sister, William.
Yeah.
William
Yeah.
Shakespeare.
But Expo Theater, they had a big thing where you could buy tickets to go to Expo Theater and not go into the Expo grounds because they didn't want to make you have to pay for the money to go into Expo 67 and then pay money to go to the Expo Theater. So Expo Theater had its own off-site entrance into the theater, making it a separate gate, so to speak. On the mini rail or the Expo Express going real quick and trying to get a picture of Germany. United Nations. The backside of the Italy pavilion, down below some earth moving equipment. And oh, here, let's see if we can, here's more of these things. Let's see if we can find out anything more. Oh, of course they're blurry. I tell you, I don't think there's anybody inside those things.
Could those have been those booths that only lasted a few weeks where you could try to book to get into pavilions later on?
Yeah, I was wondering that when I first saw it, but then I've seen pictures of those and they were more shaped like the telephone booths were.
They're wider than they look. You see now how the sides of them are kind of bulging out of it. They're not rectangular.
No.
A person could fit in that. Look at the one on the left. That is very wide.
Yeah. And it looks like it has something in the window, probably like closed to use other window or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks like
I don't think anybody would want to fit into that. That's awful narrow. And on the right little thing, the little red sign, which I think this is the same. These are the same two booths from the previous picture, just from a different view.
It is.
That right one that had the poster of the circus.
Yeah.
Was just kind of, I don't think the circus had anything to do with these two things. I think it was just a poster, plastered to the side of it, talking about the circus. But they still look like modified trash cans to me.
It looks like a ticket window with a little grid. You have to see the circle there in the center.
Yeah.
On the window. And then below you have a little slot where they can hand things in and out.
Right.
So it does look like a ticket booth to me.
Totally.
I'm gonna put these on.
What looked like a chute at the front now looks like a table.
Right.
Yeah, shelf.
Yeah, I think that's a ticket
Little
booth.
counter.
Somebody just really cramped space.
I'm going to put these on the Expo 67 site on Facebook, and within 9.7 minutes, Elijah Roche will tell me exactly what they were. And yeah, the guy is just absolutely phenomenal.
How many?
Oh, that's great.
How many there were on site? Where their exact locations?
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
And the manufacturer of the booth.
yeah.
Everyone smiled. Don's taking a picture.
I took a picture of the picture, so I'm gonna do a Google search.
Yeah, good.
Now that's 3D.
Michelle.
Now here we get over here at Kuwait. Look at all the people down here. I mean, again, this is brand new. The sod didn't last very long. People are taking advantage of it, and I believe Kuwait was one of the pavilions that closed in protest of the war going on with Israel. And yeah, they closed, and some of the other Arab nations closed and reopened, but I don't think Kuwait ever reopened. So getting a picture of it with the signage on it is actually kind of unusual. And again, some of the sculptures on site. This one I like. Again, nice and sharp. The tulips look really nice, and the trees down here are totally bare. They haven't grown in or anything yet, but okay.
Oh, back in Disney, Epcot.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's just another light of a what you call it, one of the lamps. I thought there was another booth or something there. Okay, again, a repeat. Some of these I didn't get to take out the duplicates of, so forgive me. So that was one batch of them. Let me get into. So this is Gyrotron, the very disappointing ride over in La Ronde. I think this whole box of them was over in the La Ronde area. We'll take a look, but going along in here, and you got on board. I think this might be coming out of Gyrotron and coming back to the loading unloading area. Nope, it's not all La Ronde. So again, the lines are just kind of amazing. This is Cuba down here, and you can see everybody lined up. But this is Kodak of Canada, and in here you can see this line here is for Kodak. This line here is for Canadian National going over the side. No stanchions, no barriers. Everybody just stood on the line and behaved themselves. This tent area here, we've seen this on prior ones. When they opened up Expo 67, they did a great job, and they totally underestimated how hungry people were going to be. So they didn't have enough in the way of snack bars, restaurants. They had a bunch of whole high-end restaurants, like in Czechoslovakia and that, but they realized they didn't have a lot of snack bars. So they made urgent appeals. Could anybody put snack bars in real quick? And this red and white tent was done by a Canadian grocery company, and said, yeah, and the guy happened to be a friend of the Commissioner General of Expo 67. He said, yeah, I can come and help you out. And, you know, bam, within 2 weeks or so, they had, you know, snack bar and places put up. So, again, you can try to start dating some of these pictures. You can see the trees have grown in a lot more, but I've got many shots where this just shows emptiness, and all of a sudden, boom, there's a snack bar. Inside the USSR pavilion, this was a theater up here. Again, I'll do what I can to try to brighten this up and try to make something out of it. And just some of the details of flowers. I think this is Monaco off to the side. And we go again, this is Australia. So let's go and rip out a whole bunch of coral off the Great Barrier Reef, and that we all want you to come and visit. So let's take chunks of it and kill it and bring it over to Montreal. This is inside Czechoslovakia. Again, they had, besides the thing about all their glassware and everything, this was a very large, intricate wood carving, and they had a whole fairy tale section with some animated figures that moved back and forth. Another view of the Great Barrier Reef without water. Again, my favorite one, Air Canada, which again in later years, I got great news for you. You got a pavilion for you for your pavilion of Pakistan, but it's got this Leonardo da Vinci roof. So this became Pakistan and a number of other countries over the years. Over here we have, zoom in here, a Boy Scout, and one of the jobs you could get was pushing people around, do your good deed. So just like in New York, we had the Scout Service Corps. They had a Scout Service Corps for Scouts of Canada, and they were very welcoming when you came there as a New York Boy Scout. You could you know, talk and compare notes and everything, and that was one of the things that they did, was they would help people out, and you know, basically they would volunteer. If like this guy came in pushing the wheelchair, they'd say, hey, could I, you know, help you out on that? So, you know, the Canadian version of getting the old lady across the road. And then back to LaRonde, they had canoe rides here, which were very easy to board the canoes compared to, you know, getting on a real canoe, but they would take you out into the water. And here is the replica of the Golden Hind ship. Here's the state of Maine. Again, absolutely ugly building. And their whole thing was a train that went around, and it actually went inside the building. Talking exciting stuff here.
So are the two of you going out? Yes or no?
Okay.
And what time is he coming?
Hey guys, again, remember your mics are open. So if you're starting to yell to people on the other side of the house, please try to mute yourself. So state of Maine, products of the state of Maine, and you would go inside and see a replica of a duck blind and a moose, a stuffed moose, and the inside was kind of interesting, but the outside was not. Outside the USSR, going over to LaRonde. This guy looks like he's quite amazed to have somebody taking his picture. And this was a nice one. I think this was taken from the Spiral, the aerial tower ride. But down here, this was the Alcan aquarium, which was left as a permanent aquarium, which unfortunately they had to strike all the, you know, in the post-Expo years, they had to strike. All the workers went home, and they let the all the fish die, which I thought was great.
We all thought that was a young picture of you, Bill.
Picture of me? Oh, I mean, this guy? Yeah, I was 15 years old. Come on, give me a break. Marina turned out to be very, very popular, and they had to remind people, unless you have a reservation, we can't fit you in. And a lot of people came on their boats and tied up. And it was a great way to get there. You didn't have to worry about hotel reservations or anything else. Stay on your boat. This here was a ship Chandler store. You could buy all sorts of maps and charts and ropes and anchors and things like that. So it was all suited as a business for the marina. Super popular. This just came out about a year ago. The log flume ride had been a legacy left of all these years, and finally it just wore out, and they said it got to the point of not being economical to keep it going. But again, getting 50, 60 years out of a ride intended to last for 6 months is pretty good. Then they had a number of stages around the expo grounds. So I think there's one other shot of this particular stage. So you could bring in, just like in other World's Fairs, your particular performing group, and then your mom and dad and everybody would come in and watch. Quite a crowd though. Then now we get dancers. The Gyrotron, nobody knew what this thing was, so they put a sign up here. And again, you came and boarded on it and went up. You went on into one level, went through it, came out, descended into the pits of hell, and came back out. Another one of the Expo services area. Taking one of the boat rides, going around the gondola, the canals. This one styled after the Italian boats. Then they had several bandstands. I guess this was all done for the acoustics, but they didn't have any particular names. It would be like Bandstand B, Bandstand C, that sort of thing. in the back here, you can see what looks like a fence and everything. This was, remember before I mentioned about ships that would go by. This was one of the canals that went past the Expo site. And again, too bad he blurred it.
I may agree with you about that, Don. I think that's I think that's maybe a logical thing to assume.
Yeah, just you have to have your picture taken outside, but it might be they're about the right size.
What's that, Don?
Oh, Google said those are photo booths,
Photo booth. Okay.
but yeah, and I couldn't find any. I searched on Expo 67 photo booths, didn't find anything that looks like it, but it could be.
Get your picture taken and print it out.
Roger will know.
Yeah, Roger will know everything. Okay, now we're going to go to the same guy's pictures, but 2 years earlier at the 64 or the 65 season of the World's Fair. And like I said, he did a really nice job on the 65 shots as far as sharp and clear. So nice shot, the Unisphere, not big crowds that particular day.
Bill, what are these? What size film are these?
These are, I think, called 127 format. Matter of fact, do I have any sitting around here? They're just like, I'm going to hold it up here. These are actually Panaview slides. They're the same size format as a Panaview slide.
Right. Yeah, my first camera was a 127, although we always took prints, but usually black and white because I couldn't afford to process color.
Right. I think it's a 127.
Yeah, it looks like it could be. But it must have been a pretty good quality 127 because of the sharpness.
Oh yeah, no, like I said, some of these shots are really breathtaking, and being able to zoom into some of the verbiage of some of the signs and stuff. It was a good camera or whatever he was using. That's why I was so disappointed when I saw the Expo 67 ones. Oh, that's so close. What could have been.
Yeah, 127 ran the gamut from very cheap point and shoot to pretty good quality, not necessarily professional, but good quality.
These are all Kodachrome?
Yes, no, those are a mixture of Kodachrome and Ektachrome, as a matter of fact. So I have to see which ones are which, but they are stamped on the cardboard mounts that and they were kind of all mixed in, jumbled in boxes, but some were Kodachrome and some were Ektachrome. So here we have Indonesia and taken from the Skyway. But again, for the quality of these things, if you zoom in on them, you can get to see the bridges in the background and everything. I mean, even the signage and everything on the gas tank back here.
Yeah, I'm betting that the film speed was 25 and he set his shutter to 1/25.
Yeah.
That's pretty slow.
Or even 1/15. I've tried that a couple times on interiors before digital cameras, and if I was really lucky, I got a good picture, but rarely.
Well, my 3D camera, the Stereo Realist, was made for ASA 25.
Yeah.
This was a kind of neat one to find. I put this on the line and people, I've never seen that pavilion before. Well, this was supposed to be the Argentinian pavilion, and then it became an art museum in 64, and in 65 it was the Bar Green buffet. And people trying to figure out what Bar Green meant. Well, that happened to be the guy's last name was Bar Green. But he was from Canada, and he put in this very large restaurant. And over this side was the big thing about the Bar Green beer hall. And then down below, you can see he had signs for it out here. But yeah, this was the Argentinian pavilion, which didn't come to be. And then what I did here was I took it and I just, again, he's shooting it from an angle. I often will try to straighten things out, but I'll try to save both versions.
Do you know if it was a success as that buffet?
What's that?
Do you know if it was successful as a buffet?
Yeah, it was. I have, I think, 2 shots inside, and one of them is kind of blurry. Again, people trying to take pictures inside. but huge amounts of tables, and they hung all. This thing was 2 stories tall, so they hung all these banners down to try to mask how empty the building was. But there's quite a few people sitting at the tables in the 2 shots that I do have. So over the Caribbean Pavilion, again, this one didn't come out crystal clear, but still nice. In looking at some of these and others I have going for reopening day of 65, again, you never see anybody up on this level of the New York State Pavilion. One of those things where, again, why did you build it so you can't use it? Really nice shot down here. We have Spain. Over here you have Indonesia, which is closed for the season. We zoom in a little down here. Again, more snack bars. So you got the edge of the British, the Brass Rail restaurant over here. But then over here, we need to sell even more stuff. So you can look at the pictures between 64 and 65 and saw how they kept adding extra little snack bars into the area. Here's Denmark and the Protestant Orthodox Pavilion. This is the Churchill Pavilion, which was the pavilion for 64. Ghana, somebody made mention online when I posted about what a big pavilion this was for a nation that had just been newly independent. But again, if you look at pictures in 1964, this snack bar just doesn't exist. So again, all sorts of places added in. And of course, if you're going to be at Ghana and what are you going to sell? You're going to sell waffles for 99 cents. So, but you can't blame the people from Ghana if you get this extra land out here and they had a doesn't, right, see down here, they have a toll booths. I think it was 10 cents, maybe a quarter, but there was definitely a toll to go in and visit, the Guinea Pavilion. I said Ghana before, sorry. But you had to pay 10 cents or so to go in, but you got this land, you might as well put a snack bar out there and sell some waffles. Now, this was another thing that really surprised me showing up. There's a sign here, the Zion Snack Bar. So over here is the very, very edge of the American Israel Pavilion. And I knew they had a Zion snack bar, but in all my other shots, I don't think I've seen any other shots that actually caught the sign for the snack bar. So again, that's the sort of thing I just get a kick of sitting there, taking out the scratches, moving the mouse around and going, I've never seen that before. There's another sign here, which we can't quite figure out, even at full resolution, what this particular orangey looking thing is. But again, now we know where the Zion snack bar was. Japan.
I think it was confirmed on Facebook that, because I think I asked if it was kosher food, and it was.
Yes, yeah. I think they serve both kosher and non-kosher. By the way, speaking of Facebook, Randy, I tell you, I have to really love some of the things you've been posting lately, which will stay out of politics today, but I'm glad to tell you, great minds think alike. So this is on the steps of the United States Pavilion, looking out towards the Singer Bowl. It looked like people brought a suitcase in, so maybe they were changing to do a performance or something. Oh, we don't have Brock couldn't be here today. He had he's up in San Francisco, but any other car buffs able to tell us what these particular cars are?
Like a Citroen.
Yes, right here.
Yeah. Thing.
Not a clue.
Okay.
I mean, they're mostly General Motors products, it seems like. I mean, discounting the big building behind it. Oh,
that red one is really old looking.
Well, yeah. Either, or it could be a Volvo, a 1950s Volvo. A Lincoln Continental. The white.
That white one's a Lincoln, right?
Yeah, and then there's some Chrysler product at the front, the black car.
Oh, yeah, like a Valiant or something?
Yeah. The red one, and I figured they had to be rare even by 65.
Well, I think it's a Volvo. I really do. Because the early Volvos, least the earliest ones they imported to the US looked like 1940s cars.
Now, Scott,
Oh,
Scott, I think you might get a kick out of this one. Let me zoom in. How about the bubblegum machine up on the roof?
ah,
Oh.
Federal, the federal bulb. I actually have a friend who could tell you the actual model number
Yeah.
because they made like 4 different models. They had one where one bulb was on a 45-degree, and one bulb that was on like a 15-degree downward angle, so it would hit you right in the rearview mirror.
Oh, wow. You know, it was obviously these people look like they've had a collision or something. They're off to the side of the road here, and New York's Finest is helping them out. But
That's a Ford in the front. That looks like a Ford in the right behind them, the first car.
The Falcon probably.
Yeah, Falcon.
yeah,
That's an AMC product of some sort. Yeah.
oh
he
yeah,
ki-
look at that.
Yeah, he kissed them right in he nose down them where you hit the brakes, the bumper goes down, you slam, the engine just slams right into them from the radiator back.
unsafe at any speed, huh? What is the Corvette?
That was proven wrong
I know.
with the Corvairs.
You know, when I get a kick out of it, looking at the patrol car picture, guys, how many guys remember Car 54?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Franklin.
Red Gwyn, yeah, and
Joey Ross.
right.
Yeah. Ooh, Tootie.
Wasn't Al Lewis in
Well, we went to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, and they had their car in the parade, but it was painted in. It wasn't in the NYPD colors. It was done like in a pink color, and I asked my dad why, and he said because, and he I think he had to find out. They didn't want as they were filming, they didn't want anybody to think it was a real NYPD car. So they painted in those colors because it looked okay in a black and white TV that it came across as an NYPD car. But they said they had too many problems with other things filming that people go and wave officer, or why was that guy doing that? So yeah, if you ever see pictures of the real Car 54, it's a very weird. I have pictures of it somewhere. I got to find. Really weird paint job, but yeah, I got a kick out of the bubblegum machine.
Yep.
Lots more cars going across the highway here. Nice shot again. If he got these things, you know, with the speed and everything, it came out really nice. So yeah, just look at this and you figure out, you know, like here's a family all out enjoying the fair together and everything else, and it was just Claire all off to the side. It was just you know, to me, I'm recapturing some of the magic. This one was very, very dark. He again, the backlighting or whatever was really tough on it, but get a picture of West Virginia here. The pool of industry with the fountains not going. You can see the walkway between the areas is above water. So they're probably servicing the fireworks or whatever at this point. So we're off to 65. So the former Aquacade building, everything they had done for what you call it, the big stage and everything that was there for 64 is gone, and now they're getting ready for the show. People are just starting to come in, blimp up overhead. If you look though, in the background, it looks like it's going to be a pretty good sized day from the crowds that are out here. And we're at, this was interesting. I've got a zillion pictures showing DuPont, and this is the only one I can think of that clearly shows it's from DuPont, because you can see the giant atoms up overhead. And the transportation and travel pavilion. So again, what was a big hit in 64? We have to have, everybody has to have waffles. So, but you know, if you said Belgian waffles, they would get in trouble. You'd get in trouble. So they had strawberry waffles. And
with a picture of a Belgian waffle.
yes, right. And hot dogs, ice cream, beverages, and chicken baskets. Then over here, of course, we could get souvenirs. We could get jewelry. Inside, you could see some of the other people that were having displays. And then if you came up here, there's just a big little thing here about they were bringing all these crazy cars that, you know, Big Ed Roth and all these other people were designing all these weird hot rods and everything. And then you could come inside and see those on display. So that's the Mad Martian was. But again, he got some really nice detail in these shots. I mean, for whatever camera lens or whatever he was using, they came out really nice. Now I want a waffle. Damn it!
Yeah, try to find a Belgian waffle.
Actually, there's a place here in town that sells them, and we have a waffle shop that's all about 3 miles away from, maybe 4 miles away.
Yeah, I think IHOP sells a version of it.
I don't like IHOP so much.
I don't either. No, I don't either. They're so expensive.
They are, and our local IHOP has incredibly bad service. This I got a kick out of. Oh, let's build a World's Fair and let's pile all our trash out back, so everybody that crosses the bridge has to look at the backside of the Belgian village, and they can spot our garbage. So this gate here, by the way, is called the crash gate, and that's how you could bring emergency vehicles into the fair. And oh, how are we going to get the Pope into the World's Fair? We'll bring him in through the Belgian Village crash gate. Again, another nice picture that dates this to 65. This was an addition in here, People to People Fiesta. I don't know if it shows in this particular shot. They had an admission fee, so these booths are out here selling it, but it doesn't show in this picture. They had a thing in here. If you're smaller than this height, you can come in for free. And my buddy Bob tried walking in on his knees, and they stopped him and told him that didn't count. So
he did his Tim Conway act.
Yes, yeah, right, yeah, door, or whatever.
Yeah, have his shoes on his knees.
Yeah. So, well, Bob was great for doing things like that. We went to a movie theater, and it was, prices were 12 and whatever it was, 50 cents for 0 to 11, and 12 and above was $1. And we got there, and the lady asked Bob, how much, what ticket do you want? And he starts saying, how he asked her a kid's ticket, and she says, how old are you? And he starts saying he's 12, and he realizes he's going to catch it. And this is God honest truth. She goes, how old are you? He goes, I'm 12. And the lady says, you're 12? And he goes, and Bob was really smart. He says, you got 12? What the heck? She let him in for it. I mean, there was no way. I think he was 14. There was no way he looked like he was 11. But he just was so fast. She got 12 with that. She was so embarrassed. She didn't know what to say.
And the lady probably felt bad because she thought, or she kind of made fun of his speech.
Yeah, exactly. So she gets to me and says, how old are you? I'm 12 too, and she was just,
we're twins.
Yeah. I still remember.
There's a problem with that? We're twins.
Yeah. There was the Baldwin Cinema on Merrick Road in Baldwin. It was funny, the things you remember.
That previous picture of Fiesta, I've never seen a good picture of that area before.
This one, yeah. Again, that's the patio on Ireland.
Yeah,
So,
but I'm talking about the one before, the Fiesta.
Yeah.
That thing was called, the previous slide.
Oh, this one. Oh, yeah. I've got on my website, I've got some pictures of it.
Right. Yeah, I've seen those, but this color is just really, really brilliant.
Yeah, it really came out nice. Again, some of these were Kodachrome, some were Ektachrome. I'd have to go back and see which they were.
They have processed by Kodak mounts.
The mounts, I just put them upstairs in the closet. I'm trying to remember. I think they were done by Kodak. I think they were. So here we have Big Oli, and if you want to eat here, we can go and get, what do we have? We have original and crispy fried chicken here, and we have Coke, and again, over here to the side, they serve for only the best. They have Hebrew National, and they have egg rolls. Again, what else says that? But what's nice is, and again, I don't know how much this will show up with compression for zoom. You can zoom in here and you can see inside, guided towards the industrial exhibits, the Kensington Runestone on exhibit, and free movie, the Minnesota story. So boy, this would really make me want to go see the guided tour of industrial exhibits.
Yeah.
So again, then down below, it's more thing about the people that have contributed to it. But
I wonder if the narration was done in that Minnesota accent.
yeah, well, people online said, "Oh yeah, the Minnesota story was really great. It was done by Niles, what you call it, Rose Nyland, and it concentrated heavily on St. Olaf." But again, really good, great detail on some of these. This is the Pavilion of 1,000 Bells. This was over in the International Plaza area. So you can see they had a keyboard down below here that people could come in and play. Whoops, where did my picture go?
I
Come
got
on.
it.
Where
We
did
see it.
We see it.
you see it? I don't. I got to find out where this stupid thing went. Lost my.
Bathroom break?
Yeah, I don't see my icon for. Hang on. Let me try this again. Let's see.
Bill, you're gonna have to log out and log back in.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
You're moving through your photos, Bill, real quick. There you are.
Okay, there we are. So yeah, they had a keyboard down here that you could play, but it could also be just played with a what you call it, pre-recorded tape. Off to the left here was my mother's favorite shop, the Hummel shop, and she bought a few Hummels which we managed to destroy over the years. And off to the side here, you can see they had taco restaurants and all sorts of different odds and ends. But this Carillon did survive someplace. I forget where it is right now, but that was again a nice little addition in there.
Bill, you were raised in New York. Would tacos have been quite a novelty in
That
60?
was absolutely, that was foreign food. No, I mean, I don't think I had ever had a taco in my life until the fair. We're over at the Vatican Pavilion, and this is the Mendel Hereditary Gene Garden, which was added for 65. So they had all these displays. Again, I've got them on my site about Mendel's theories about dominant genes, and he used different plants to do it. Obviously, over to the Belgian village here. IBM. Central America, which the sign blots out that they took off the word "and Panama," had been there for 64. And then that's the end of the ones I've got restored. So we have to go through and see this. So here we have Uncle Sam. I'm not quite sure what they're doing back there. Let's see if we can peek in. And these pictures take a little bit of time to zoom on because they're big. They're about 175 megs each at this full size. Got some books or tables, and he's doing something, and they're performing. I'm not quite sure where they are. I'm gonna have to figure out by the signage and the maps. If anybody
Kind of looks like the front of the Mormon Pavilion. No?
I don't think so. I don't think. Oh yeah, actually, it does look like the fountains out there. So we'll have to take a look. So here for you car fans. The Chrysler cars that were put on display had extra undercoating applied to it because they knew they were going to be subjected to heavy amounts of water, which they found out when they put the first cars out there that they were having issues. So the second sets of cars they put out had to be heavily waterproofed. And what's this, a Dart?
Dart.
Okay. Thought I recognized that one. And I'm not sure about the others. I've never really been on Chrysler products.
That's a Chrysler New Yorker to the left.
Isn't that an Imperial?
Is it Imperial or New Yorker?
It could be either. Were they built maybe on the same chassis? I'm not sure.
Yeah, wait. Yeah, one was Chrysler, one was Plymouth.
Yeah, just like Ford and Lincoln, right?
Exactly.
Oh, the New Yorker and Imperial were both Chrysler, I think. Yeah.
It's been so long.
I'm pretty sure because one of my best friends' parents had a New Yorker. It was a Chrysler.
Up here I never understood the reason for this. The giant Chrysler car as a parking ticket stuck under the windshield wiper. You know, it's like you parked too long. Well, they knew it was going to be there postseason. Why'd they give them a ticket? But it's a nice little addition, you know, a little touch they added on. Another view of the giant car. A lunar fountain. Let's see if I can zoom in here 1 second. No, the signage over here, they did a different thing for what you call it, taking out the Macy's house and putting in a what you call it, USO pavilion, but it doesn't show here. You can see the drought was really hitting at 65. You know, look how fried all the grass area is here. Florida, we can go and get free orange juice down here below. So that was very popular. This is Maryland, over model of the ship. You could donate money for its restoration, the Constitution. Tower of Light, New York State. Some of these are sort of self-explanatory. And in this particular year, Indonesia is closed, but it's still there looking nice. Whiskey A Go-Go, it's 65, so we have to have more and more, you know, dancers and things to entertain you. And down here, let's see. Yeah, can't quite make that out. What that's Madcap at some Madcap.
Madcap Movers.
Yeah, movies.
Movies.
The movie.
Yeah.
Movers.
Have to see what the Madcap movies were. Musicians performing.
You know where that is? Oh,
The Caribbean Pavilion, I believe.
Yeah, I think you can tell by that mural on the left.
Again, how fried everything was. I remember the reservoirs on Long Island going dry that year. Again, some of these are duped. Hong Kong, tremendous disappointment. Nice view of New York. What a nice looking day it was, huh?
Yeah.
What a shame that this map was not allowed to survive. But Amsterdam's up in the general Albany area. If anybody knows it, some of these towns are so small that even living in Albany, I had never heard of some of them. Actually, not too long ago, Carol and I were up there, and we actually drove through Broadalbin. So, you know, not that there's any particular note of it. It's just I remember the name being unusual. And there's these, I know these only because I know the pavilion. Those are Simca's, foreign-made Chrysler products. Toll booth for Hawaii. Vatican. Again, you can try to date some of these roughly when they are, because now they're telling you here that it's Lithuania Day, June 13th. So whether or not this is June 13th, this day, or the days leading up to June 13th, but you can figure it's probably taken at least June 13th or after. 7-Up. A Golden Rondelle. Japan. Better Living Center. Somebody put a picture on one of the Facebook groups of a Schaefer beer can, and it got more likes and more looks than any picture I can think of a fair on that particular group. And everybody felt obliged to put out Schaefer is the one beer to have when you're having more
More than one.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking thousands of people. You take all these really rare pictures of pavilions or whatever, and the biggest thing anybody's getting a kick out of is the Schaefer beer can. I just got a kick out of that. Feel like you're back home there, Tom?
Yeah. That reminds me, do you want me to interview those two people I know that went to the fair? Or?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. The one's husband just passed away a couple weeks ago. The one that was sang in the Mormon Relief Society choir.
Uh-huh.
But the lady that, they had the little guy that got kidnapped.
Oh, yeah.
She's actually has a wedding here in a couple weeks. Her first husband invented the IBM computer. And, he's been gone now for about 5 years, and she's remarrying
Oh,
to
wow.
this guy. But yeah, I love that story. I think his name was like Harry Beeman or something like that. And he got kidnapped for 3 days, I think. It was a big deal, but yeah. Okay, I'll do it.
Thanks. This had Hong Kong, 3 junks in world in season 1, but in season 2, they took it down to 2 junks because they could put a bigger snack bar in out here. Again, everybody was realizing people were hungry. Let's feed them. Beer sure was popular. I'm not entirely sure where this one is. It might be inside the mattress ones. This might be part of their fairyland. Log flume. Kitchy kitchy coo, little chipmunk. Inside the Vatican. And obviously, father taking us through GE. And there's mom at the end. This is inside the Better Living Center, and it's the giant railroad that you could go and pay $0.25 to go see, which, as a model railroad buff at the time, was, wow, Dad, could we do this in the basement? Come on, Bill, let's go see the next pavilion. It was really quite a setup. I mean, you can see right here, 4 tracks here, another 4 up here. I mean, they had all sorts of animated things. It was really quite spectacular.
Bill, have you ever been to the Model Railroad Museum in San Diego at Balboa Park?
Yeah.
Long time ago. I mean,
Yeah, a long time ago for me too, but it's really something.
There's one over in Germany that I'd really like to go see that I've seen the videos of that's just insane, with planes taking off and boats, docking, and cars on highways and trains, and even little things like a hovercraft. And I mean, it's just on the list of things to do.
Yeah, I've seen YouTube videos of that one.
Mm-hmm.
They actually, if you go out to the out on Long Island, the place that has the Long Island Railroad train from the fair has a very nice railroad display, which came out of Lionel's headquarters when they redid it. They had this giant display, which was there, that they needed to find a home for, and you go out there and you can push the button and make the train go and make the helicopter fly and stuff.
Neat.
There's one in Levittown, in one of the greens. They rented the whole basement and they've set up a multi-track layout.
Neat. Now those,
Yeah.
I think this past batch, I think we saw were Kodachrome, and I think this batch is Ektachrome. So I will have to verify that. But again, these came out kind of on the lighter side. But folks go online to go see the magic show.
Somebody's
That reminds me,
yeah.
we were talking about the big boy last week. It was here in Salt Lake last week, I think, Wednesday, I think.
Well, it's going to be in New York, I think. My brother said, "Oh, it's a 7-minute drive me. And I said, you bastard. Yeah, I'm-
It's on its way.
Where in, I might be able to get out there, Bill. Where in New York?
oh, it's gonna be in Oneida, I think he said.
Well, that's not too far. Let me take a look. I've seen a big boy. I haven't seen one running, but they have one on Route 66.
Yeah, I saw it when I was a kid with my grandpa. I had a HO train board when I was a kid, and one of the things I remember most is that it had a baseball park in it, and we used to get match covers to make signs that hung on the fence, the home run fence.
Mine was 027. I still got him in the garage.
Yeah, I saw mine too. Yeah.
It's gonna be in
Yep.
well, that's Wisconsin.
I have my dad's trains too from when he was a little boy.
Bill, when you said 027, was that, what did that mean?
It's they had an O gauge and an 027.
with
I
the
had
gauge,
no
okay.
idea what the difference was between them. But that was a big gauge that was popular back when I was into the trains. Now this set of slides I'm going to do here is really interesting. It was shot on April 21st, 1965, which was opening day, reopening day of the second season. And the guy who took it just seemed to love to go for minutia. He's got all sorts of signs. Like here, this is the Meadow Lake Gate, and he's got the entrance pylon. But he doesn't just have one picture of the pylon. He's going to have a bunch of them. So I really got a kick out of, again, they came out really nice.
Yeah, beautiful shot.
Yeah. So here's the Santa Maria. Here's you can see the sign in the back for Carnival, the former Texas Pavilion, the Five Volcanoes restaurant that Randy mentioned, and all that. But I don't know if it's early in the morning. There's no people showing up, but I don't know if he's outside the gate waiting to get in. But he's taken all sorts of pictures of the place, that are, like I said, and they were, a lot of them are really dark, so I had to work on them. But he's got some really unique views on it. Bunch of seagulls here.
These are
It's like he had a tripod, or maybe, was setting it on a post or something.
Oh no, it's hard to tell. Like I said, they were very, very dark. I really had to push on it. But then you get a shot like this again. You got the entrance tower here. You got the Florida Citrus Tower. Again, New York. If the fair is not open yet, you can understand why nobody's up there on the tower. But again, just all sorts of different views. Things like, okay, let's get the Serpentine phone booths.
that's a great shot, though.
Yeah. so
Yeah,
let's
it's beautiful.
Let's do it again. Okay, this is as far as I got restoring, so you can see the colors are not as vivid here. So let's do it again and again. Yeah.
These are 35 millimeter, Bill.
What's that? These are all 35. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So let's get the entrance pylon, and let's get it again and again and again.
Ooh, with the plane.
Yeah.
But go back. I want to see if I can see what airline it is. That's Allegheny.
Yeah, it's Allegheny.
Yeah.
Cool. They're very artsy pictures. They're beautiful.
Yeah. So only one luminaire. Well, only one dedicated. He's caught one here, and like I said, he's just got a whole bunch of pictures, and they all seem to be from the outside. There's, again, no people or anything in here yet. It looks like there's still a service vehicle down here. This building is still there. It's called the Boathouse. It's a relic from the 39 World's Fair. And here's, again, one of the phone booths. Maybe that's the one he was taking. What was interesting is I didn't remember this motif on the entrance pylons of these chevron type designs. I'm going to have to go back to my 64 shots and see if they were added on or not. And again, you can see just real quick, the flags are, flicking. And it's chilly out. Oh no, it's 3:25. So it's 3:25 in the afternoon. Hopefully by now people are open.
Could these have been taken prior to the fair's opening? I mean,
he's written down on the box the date of on the, I have the box sitting right here. And World's Fair Grayson demo, walk around outside, new type slide mount, see note from IBM, 4/21/65 Kodachrome 2. So yeah, I mean,
Oh, okay. When
Yeah.
did fair open? Yeah, the second,
it opened that day that he's got these things dated. Lots of GMs. Now let's see, can we see any sign of people at all in this one? It's possible, of course, he misdated it or something, but I mean, there's nobody up on the tower at all. Nice capture of the VIP level. There's another one of the VIP level.
yeah, I mean, it almost looks like the fair had not opened yet.
Yeah,
Decided to walk around the grounds because at one of the earlier shots there were some construction vehicles, or not tractors or cranes, but like pickup trucks, small service vehicles.
yeah, that's why I said
Isn't
there's
it-
still service vehicles, which you think would be gone by opening, but I do have pictures of work trucks driving through the site at different times. It looks like Allegheny again.
No, that's
Is it?
That's Eastern.
Eastern, okay.
That's probably the what do you call it? The shuttle. Yes, there was a man on the roof on that one shot.
Which shot?
Go back one there.
No, I don't think.
Oh, the pipes. Oh, no, there's one there.
Is it Fred McMurray?
Not there, no.
No, that one, what one, that next one or the last one, I'm not sure. But
There.
there he is, yeah.
Oh yes, up here, yeah.
Yeah, it's Fred McMurray.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor Fred.
Poor Fred.
And then tower.
It was
the-
50.
And there's somebody in that one, right, going into the,
Yes, there's somebody right here.
Yeah.
Now, for anybody that's from New York, there's two shots coming up. Maybe you can identify them for me.
Man, that's so pretty.
Yep, I've got one more set of ones that I just finished scanning last night. Let me go to, so we're gonna go to June 65 for these, and again, so in this particular one, they're doing the water show. Not many people in the stands for this one.
monorail.
There's some neat shots coming up here. Again, I don't know who took these. Now here's this one.
Nuns!
Yay.
I mean, I came across this one. I said, "Whoa, whoa! Look at all the nuns." And
They look
then-
like they're dancing.
Yeah.
Nuns,
Looks like they're eating like
oh,
Eskimo
eating a
pies or
frozen
something.
ice cream.
Waffles. They're eating waffles.
No, I think they're Eskimo
Ice
Oh,
pies.
they're having ice cream, yeah.
Yeah, they're having
Klondike
frozen-
bar.
Klondike.
Yeah. The thing is that dripped, you wouldn't know it.
Yeah, two of them have ice creams, actually.
Well, actually, it looks like this one has ice cream. This one has a hand up, maybe eating ice cream, and this one has ice cream. So, yep, they're
Yeah.
enjoying their ice cream.
Yeah.
And big sign here about all the things you can see if you come down to visit them in Florida. The 10 Wonders
Of Santa Maria.
of Santa Maria. Yep. Don't miss. See it. And they're the very same.
What happened to it, Bill? Do you know?
Santa Maria, yeah, was sold to the city of what you call it, St. Louis. The mayor bought that and the Spanish Pavilion, and it stayed there for quite a while. And then it sunk at its dock. They re-raised it, and then it finally got destroyed in I believe it was a fire. Was the final death toll to it? But it was in St. Louis probably about 10 years after the fair. Yeah, he was very proud of his Spanish heritage, so he bought the Spanish Pavilion, and it got turned into a convention center and now a hotel. And you can still see some remnants if you go there today. Some of the, they've added on 2 giant high-rise towers and other things, but you can still spot some things down in the lobby area. So Carol and I will be back in Maine in September. I'll have to go look for this again. It's in Kennebunkport. This guy took a lot of pictures. He really, really liked the roof of the Vatican Pavilion. So we get several different views of it. I have to switch to another folder here.
He must have had a pretty nice telephoto lens.
Yeah. But again, picture after picture after picture of the roof.
Yeah, I think, yeah, he's trying different exposures and stuff,
Yeah.
settings.
Coming into the Swiss Skyride station. And again, here's the snack bar that was added into Guinea for 65. And then now that I've seen it before, of course, for years I've looked and I haven't seen it. So what do I see now? We have the Zion snack bar again. You know, isn't it, you know, once you know it's there, then you go and you start looking. And I still can't quite tell what the orange sign is here, but it might be something about come inside, see something in the pavilion. But yep, you know, like
A
I
lot
said,
going on in that picture.
yeah. So I haven't seen this snack bar for years, and I get 2 of them in 2 days. You
Bill,
know.
was the Zion 65 edition?
I don't know, to be honest with you. That might be the case. I'd have to go back and look.
Can you go back a slide, Bill?
Yeah, just one
Please.
second. If we
Okay,
look,
sure.
I'm gonna zoom in here. We again, you can have chicken, 1/2 chicken, barbecued and open pit with delicious Kikkoman soy sauce, $1.99.
And what is the name of the restaurant? Chikayaki or something?
Yeah, this is one of the ones at Japan.
Oh,
Okay, this picture you wanted. What did you want to see?
Yeah, zoom in on the Kodak Pavilion. Who's in the bathtub?
Oh, little black gal.
Oh yeah, cute.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that. Right?
Yeah, so she's got a bowl in her hair and she's having a great time in the bathtub. She shows in the same picture that I had the other one that I showed the Zion snack bar. So again, this one was dated June 65, so that gives us an idea of when that other one was taken as well. Not a lot of crowd that day. Again, nobody. Everybody's up here. Nobody's down there. Again, add all these snack bars you can. Every place you can put tables outside. Oh, here again, we talk about great minds think alike, right? The United Nations. What do we see in Expo 58? A blue roof with curves to it. Well, this is purely accidental because this was the Sierra Leone Pavilion for 64. So the design was already there, but I just found it to be a interesting similarity between the two of them. Indonesia. They got smart down here. Put your name down in the ground so everybody knows what they're looking at when they go on the past on the sky ride. Now they know where to come back to. Now, there are 2 pictures at the end here. Maybe this was where the guy lived or anything. There's obviously the George Washington Bridge. Anybody know what highway they may be building here?
Zoom over to the left, Bill. Yeah. I want to say the Bruckner. It's either
There's a guy I know online that's a real New York highway nut. I'm going to ask him.
that's the thruway going upstate. If he's near the bridge.
Says
Yeah.
George Washington. What?
Yeah, that could be 17, the New York Thruway going north and south.
Well, let's see. We can zoom in here, and it's Route 95.
Yep, that's it. Well, 95 it is the bridge, but it's probably the Thruway.
The Thruway didn't come all the way down to Manhattan. I mean, to
Yeah, it came down to technically to the Triborough, where it split off and came around to the Bruckner.
Oh, okay. Well, bridge only and bridge via New York 9A North Hudson Parkway. Again, my friend that's a fan for highways, and he'll get a kick out of all the signs. which you can see here is an on-ramp for the road being built. So I'll see if we can get it to identify for us.
Anybody know what the apartment building with the K on top of it is?
Yeah, what was that building?
You have no clue.
Wonder if it's still there.
It's
Yeah,
still there.
I'll stick this sort of stuff in Google Images. Like I said, I just scanned these things yesterday, so you know, you can see the date down below at 8.
Actually, it looks like it could be 4 separate towers.
Yeah, is it multiple buildings or is it just super
Looks
super
multiple.
long?
Yeah, different. Here's another tower here.
It's been a long time since I worked the Bronx.
It could all be linked by a center, but it looks like 4. So anyway, oh, I did promise movies. So real quick, let me go grab those.
Bill, did you buy these from the person who took the photos or someone who bought the stock?
Somebody who just went to a yard sale or whatever and bought them.
Okay.
Okay, have to wake up my drive here. Okay, video transfers. Okay, so let me get this one ready. One second here. Okay, I'm going to bring this back to the beginning. Now I'm going to stop sharing that screen. Let's see.
Oh, Bill, it's the Hudson. That's the that's the Hutchinson, because that's the Cross Bronx going to the bridge.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think it's the Henry Hudson.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
All right, so people should now see the movie. So this is again the 64 fair, walking in from the 64 season, as a matter of fact, because we saw Texas. So we're coming in through the Meadow Lake gate. Looks like that kid's been here before. He has his hat with his feather. And lots of Hawaii.
Something theater.
Yeah, great slow pan, nice.
I did one the other. Oh, you are now in the lake amusement area. I got a kick out of all the sign there listing all the things you could see. Some of them, of course, didn't last all that long, but oh, Chungking. Now I want Chinese food. I gotta stop doing it over lunch. As mentioned, Hawaii.
Today's the anniversary, isn't it, Bill?
What's that?
Isn't today our anniversary? 6 years?
No, that's 2 weeks from now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was close.
Yeah. I'm gonna have party gifts for everybody that day.
Hey, it's also my birthday.
Oh, great. Well, there won't be any talk next week, but if you're in the LA area, see, sometimes they did have service trucks and things within the grounds during the time it's open. Why they needed a tow truck, I think that actually picked up dumpsters and carried them off for emptying. But if anybody's in the LA area next week and would like unlimited pancakes, we have them at the Devonshire Open House.
Yeah, I was going to try to do that one year. This is at the police academy?
No, this is at the Devonshire station up in the station I work out of. So yeah, we have 2 fundraisers each year. One is a pancake breakfast, and then the other is a pasta all-you-can-eat dinner. And we try to buy things that the city does not provide funding for, which is an amazing amount of stuff. So we have a group called Solid, Supporters of Law Enforcement in Devonshire, and they raise money to that, and also soliciting from other charities and stuff. And then they have a weight room at the
We'll have to go.
yeah, they have a weight room at the station for the officers, and they fitted that out. And then things like there's a room at the station you can sleep at overnight. It's full of bunk beds, because you may end up with finishing something up at 2 in the morning and have to be at court. There's the bunkhouse, boathouse in the back. They may have to be at court at 8 in the morning, so they built out a bunk room where people can get some sleep in between shifts, things like that.
Bill, do they have any duty limitations? Like they couldn't come in at midnight and then go out on patrol again, like at, 7 the following morning.
Oh yeah, no, they don't have anything like that. It's not like the airlines with, mandatory rest times.
So there
As a
isn't
matter of
anything like that.
It becomes an issue because at times they will tell you you can't go home when they go on what we call tactical alert.
Right.
If there's a major event that happens in one division and they're afraid it can spread to the rest of the city, they can put you on tactical alert, which means when your shift ends, and these guys are doing 12-hour shifts, so you can do a 12-hour shift and then told, oh, now you can't go home. We're keeping you for another 8. So that's where you can say, okay, now we're going to put you in the bunk room, try to grab some sleep, because if the riot breaks out, we're going to come and shake you on the shoulder and get you going real quick.
It's a crash room.
Yeah. But again, the city didn't provide it, so Solid does. There's the Astral Fountain, not rotating, which you can see the size of the water jets that came out of it. But yeah, we do an open house. We bring people in. We let them see what the jail looks like, and parents always have fun putting their kids in the padded cell. And this is up at the mezzanine area of New York, so you got some bears and beavers. Up in the mezzanine level, looking down at the that white panel that's right there on the lens here. On a still picture, I have a picture that says panel bed replace. And they just anyway. But yeah, it's like I said, it's good. And then this year we have a car show. The SWAT team always brings in a bunch of their weapons and bomb sniffing dogs, and just try to have an open house for the community.
Show off the toys.
Then they bring a helicopter in and up on the roof, and the kids can go and see that. But I think last year it rained like hell. It was a bad day for an outdoor pancake breakfast. It was really bad. But 2 years before that, the helicopter came in, and when he came in the land, he went right over the event, very low, and was taking all the pop-up tents and blowing them down the street and hitting people. It was a real mess. So I had to go on the roof and say, that wasn't the smartest thing you've ever done. And when you leave, do not leave to the west. That you think these guys would, think these things through, but man, that caused some real pandemonium.
Who's the current police chief? I know Kelly retired. Didn't he?
Our chief now, Chief Moore. No, what's his name? No, Chief McDonald. Chief McDonald. Real nice guy, and he was the former sheriff out here, and then I think he was in Long Beach for a while too before that.
It's O'Donnell, isn't it?
What's that?
You said McDonald. It's O'Donnell, isn't it?
Oh, is it O'Donnell? Okay,
yeah, because I remember when he was in Long Beach. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
hell of a Boston accent.
Yeah, I think it was his brother, because they finally got rid of the nepotism thing in Long Beach. Anyway, his brother, when I was going to do the reserves, he did one of the interviews with me.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. I've met him at 2 different events and talked to him. And I mentioned I lived in Western Massachusetts, and and talk about you guys in the East with your Massachusetts things. And I asked his wife, "How did you get rid of your accent?" She goes, "I'm from Minnesota."
There's an accent.
Ooh, nice picture.
Yep, people at the lockers there. Oh, here's the solar fountain. You just think about all these people walking by, having no idea that 60 years later, people are going to be sitting there watching them, stroll around the grounds.
The flowers are beautiful as usual.
Yeah. Looks like it's a hot day and people are trying to relax a bit. Hey, there goes some of my
Hey,
fellow scouts.
love the hats.
Oh yeah, the Explorer field caps. Actually, when I did it, we wore the what you call it, the flat brim caps, the campaign hats, which were really cool. I loved the Smokey the Bear hats, but you had to give them back at the end.
Oh.
Yeah, well, we had those field caps. You had the green ones, the light green ones for the Boy Scouts. But then I was an Explorer. We had the dark green ones. I still have mine upstairs in a box. When I went to Philmont Scout Ranch, I was the only Explorer. So boy, did I stand out in all the pictures because everybody's wearing light green and I'm wearing the dark green.
Yeah, I still have my field cap packed away somewhere.
Me too.
I still have the knee socks with the red tabs. That's
Ooh,
amazing.
Yep.
Oh my.
those
Oh,
may be worth money someday. Mhm.
yeah. Well, I posted a picture of me, and I think it's 1973 or so. Up it onto your, it was up there. Yeah, 73. I'd gone up to help build troop with the provisional troop up there, and you know, just looking at me in the knee socks and the long hair and everything, and go, oh man, how have the years changed?
You just saw the three junks. You said earlier they had removed one of the junks for 65.
Yes, they took one out and put in an additional snack bar. So we see lots of escorters in this reel. And this is Spain. So I thought this guy did a nice job with steady, nice long shots.
Mm-hmm.
And that stained glass window there is one of the things that has survived in the hotel in St. Louis today.
Cool.
Bunch of Indians walking by.
Native Americans.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
And we get to near the end of the day and the lights come on. And then we get to the fireworks and the fountains at night. Like I said, I love this time of night. The heat was down, the crowds were down. The fountains, the sound of them was really spectacular. And then the fireworks show was really great. There you can see the carousel rotating.
There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
Yep, it's going in the wrong direction, but the opposite direction it goes today.
It actually went the direction a carousel would go. Now it goes the direction a merry-go-round would go.
Is that really a thing?
Yes, it is really a thing.
I don't know.
Never heard that before. Dang it. Learned something new today.
It's not a universal rule, but it is typically the way it works. Merry-go-rounds go counterclockwise, carousels go clockwise.
Is that only in the northern hemisphere?
It depends on if they have good drainage.
Quick, let's all jump on a plane to Australia and check it out.
Actually, when I got to Australia, I went and flushed the toilet to see what happened, and it said, "Holy crap, they're right. It does go the other direction."
I had the opposite experience.
How about on the airplane?
Oh yeah.
Instead of
actually
sucking
wondering-
down, it pushes up.
The old style with the blue fluid that did the swirl.
Well, I was always wondering if I parked a ship in the equator, would it go straight down? You can see people wearing suits and everything. So we got one more film for you.
Hey, Don, you said that was an unwritten rule, but where would that have dictated from?
I don't know the history of it. I mean, it's an old theme park rule. I don't know what the origin of it was.
Okay. That's interesting. I never heard anything like that. That's I've got to look that up.
Yeah, if you let me see, I can find it real quick.
If I go to Coney Island, I'll ask them in Luna Park.
Okay, hang on, just getting the next film here. Come on, here we go. This one I did at several different brightnesses. Let's see how this one came out. So,
Carousels, merry-go-rounds usually turn. Oh, I got it reversed. Merry-go-rounds usually turn clockwise, and oh, and even worse, it varies by continent, as you were saying. But yeah, if you search carousel clockwise or counterclockwise, you'll find it. Oh, here's something that says how it happened. Let's see.
so we're taking the bridge into the fair. Hey,
Okay, now that you're confused, I'm even more confused.
I'm totally confused.
this guy had some real exposure issues at the beginning of the film, and luckily it
Oh,
gets a bit better. You know, you think, you know, today we're so spoiled, you take everything in the phone that comes out great, but you shoot all this, you bring it home and you go, oh, goodness gracious, I ruined it. So this guy is just all over the place, you know, quick shots,
oh,
but every now and then you spot something that's fun. So
The opposite of the guy before.
oh God, this
Yeah,
can make you
exactly.
dizzy.
yeah, there you go, family phone booth. Fabulous Florida. See our exhibits, see the monorail. We're gonna see the whole World's Fair in 3 minutes, you know.
Whee!
Actually, this lasts about 8 minutes, but
You know,
No,
funny because goodness gracious wasn't the word that I used when I got home and discovered the film was all screwed up.
No.
oh yeah.
most of the words contain 4 letters, Randy.
Uh-huh.
There's a skycopter. Yeah, gosh darn it, gosh are Rudy's, egads, and Zooks.
Yeah, what is
Golly gee.
one of my best friends and mothers always said, "Hell's bells."
yeah.
Cheese.
The
and
nuns will get you
crackers.
for that one.
Yeah, we couldn't say it around our house because I had an aunt who was a nun.
My, he is fast on the trigger on that thing, isn't he?
Was on the monorail now, I
It's
assume.
all in the monorail, yeah.
Even
Well, I
then,
was going to say for
Oh, here it
As
goes
a-
again.
Hey,
as
here we go.
erratic film is for our
Oh,
benefit,
aqua
you know,
car.
Cars.
They are
Cool.
worth a lot.
I'm gonna have to share that in the Amphibicar group on Facebook.
Yeah.
apparently they had
Awesome.
a problem with one of the ones at Downtown Disney recently. Or,
Yeah,
whatever they
yeah,
call
somebody
it.
was out in one that got a little wet.
so is it
It's
amphicar or
I
amphibicar?
think it's Amphicar.
aqua car. Yeah.
Real ice stage.
Yeah.
Oh.
Woohoo, woohoo. Dad's so hold. Look at that shot.
Oh, look.
Whoa!
Okay, what kind of car was that?
Yeah.
That was a 1963 Torch-O-Matic.
That's the Grand Central Parkway, isn't it?
Yes, right.
It pretty much looks like that all the time now with all the deserted
Yeah.
cars.
I may have
Oh, it looked
mentioned.
like it caught fire.
Grand Central, it's the
Yeah,
Grand Central Park way because you don't move on that thing anymore.
Oh yeah.
There's just so much traffic.
And there are no, at least last time I was on, we used to take going from like Kennedy to our downtown layover hotels. There were no lanes. It was like they were painted, but you could never fool me into thinking they were painted lanes.
There's a great short film that somebody did where he breaks down on the side of the freeway and gets out and, you know, he's trying to look around and he sees up the hill at the top a thing that says emergency telephone. So he climbed, and it's all done in one shot. He climbs up the hill. I mean, it's a really steep hill. He gets up to the telephone. He picks up the emergency telephone, looks back down, and the car is gone. It's just a frame sitting on 4 blocks.
Yeah.
It was a, you know, a commentary on how people would strip your car. Now, my father's friend Jake was a New York City cop, and he was on his way to work one day, and his car broke down on the side of the Bell Parkway. So Jake gets out of the car and he opens up the hood and he's trying to figure out what's going on, you know, wrong with the car. And he feels the car move and he looks and there's a guy jacking up the back of the car to take one of the tires off. And Jake said, "What are you doing?" The guy said, "You get what you want, I'm getting what I want." And Jake said, "Okay." And he reached into the back seat, took out his nightstick, hit the guy across the head, put him in the back seat of the car when he got it running and drove it to work. And his sergeant was like, "What the hell are you so late for?" And Jake said, "I brought one with me."
He got what he wanted.
Yeah. You take what you want. Okay, I did. Jake was also really funny. He was my father's best man. And the night before the wedding, he was on duty in Prospect Park, if people know that in New York. And it was middle of the night and they heard a splash. And they look over and some guys had just dumped a body in the lake. So Jake and his partner, yell, "Stop, police!" And they get in a shootout with these guys. And Jake told the story. He was behind this log and he's shooting at the guy, and the guy's shooting back at him. And Jake was thinking, "Oh God, if I get killed out here tomorrow, Grace is going to just be so pissed." My mother. He said his first thought was, if I only get wounded, Grace is going to kill me.
Yeah.
My mother
But
was very mild lady, but the fact that Jake was worried my mother was going to kill him for missing the wedding, I always got a kick out of that.
what year was that?
That would have been 1950. Yep. So yeah, some guys had off somebody and dumped them in the lake.
Oh, man.
At this
Anybody
time,
here? Oh, there's the Chevron gas station real quick.
Yep.
Went
was it
by.
Chevron or Sinclair?
Sinclair, sorry. Anybody else here ever spend any time at Prospect Park?
Sure.
You know, it's funny the things you have a flashback to. The other day, I went in the backyard and I grilled up some hot dogs and came inside and decided to have hot dogs and a big glass of orange juice for lunch. And I instantly went back to Prospect Park at age 7, where my father would take us in. I think this is getting near the end of it. We would, this is a couple of minutes, maybe it gets better. He would take us in, buy us a hot dog, and they had these orange juices that came in sort of like a round, semi-round container that like went up to a cone, but then they were flat at the top. You pulled this orange, this flat tab off, like the top off a milk bottle, and you had your orange juice. And it just became such a big thing. There was a bakery across the street that was always baking bread, whether it was Wonder Bakery or one of those. And oh, this is Florida now. I was sitting there at my kitchen table eating my hot dogs, drinking my orange juice, thinking about being 7 years old again. It's funny the things that can trigger such intense memories.
Bill, where in the city is Prospect Park?
It's in Brooklyn.
Okay.
It's
And if Scott may remember when there was a major plane crash in New York, 2 planes collided, two passenger planes collided and came down.
Yeah,
And
TWA United. Yeah.
yeah, one of them almost came down in Prospect Park, but it came down in the street opposite it. And we were there about a week later to see the devastation and everything. But Prospect Park was it was a really, they had a nice zoo there and they had seals and
they still do.
And then it had hills in it and again, if you wanted to go sleigh riding, the rest of Brooklyn is pretty damn flat, at least Flatbush, where I live, what the name, Flatbush, right? We'd go out to Prospect Park and go sleigh riding, and things that to us, they had names like Suicide Hill, and you look at it now, it's 12 feet. But when you're 6 years old and you're doing that stuff, it's it's great fun. Let me look at the chat here real quick to see what I missed.
Bill, do you remember where that was in Brooklyn?
And Prospect Park? Oh yeah.
No, where you lived in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah. I was born on what you call it, in Flatbush on Ditmas Avenue, and then we moved out. I grew up at 1482 East 53rd Street.
You were in Flatlands.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Flatlands. That's where my grandparents originally lived, and my mother and father lived when they first got married. But
Well, I mentioned this to somebody the other day, and it may have been in one of these talks about the thing of coincidences, and you don't know, somebody you could be sitting next to, you don't know went to the same school you did or whatever. When I was at college, I was in the dorm and I was talking about something, and the guy at the next table said, "Where did you grow up?" I said, in Brooklyn. And he said, "Where?" And I said, "East 53rd Street." And he said, "Where?" And I said, "Well, East 53rd between L and M." And he goes, "I was East 54th between L and M." And this was all just like we're seeing the grid of all the the faces here. All the houses are that way. Everything was just, every lot was identical to the lot to next to it, in size and everything. But there was a common fence that ran all the way down the street between L and M, dividing all the houses. And it became a neighborhood rite of passage. Could you tightrope walk all the way down that fence from one end of the street to the other? And I find myself sitting at college comparing notes to this guy. How about the house with the big dogs? I said, no, I'm talking about the one with the Great Dane. Oh, yeah. And then there was a guy who had built his garage right up to and illegally over the fence. So to continue the thing, you actually had to scale up and go over the roof of this guy's house, this guy's garage. And if he saw you, he'd come out and turn a hose on you and stuff. But I mean, we must have sat there in the dorm for an hour. If he had not heard me say something about, yeah, I went to PS 253, and oh, you went to PS 253, so did I. It was just really weird.
So Bill, where you grew up, you had that fence. Was it just the one fence that ran parallel to the houses on either side?
Yeah, basically there was a fence between each house, between my lot and the lot to the eastern.
Oh, so the yards were divided.
But then one divider, and it wasn't one fence, it was one property line. So it'd be a wood fence here, a chain link fence there, a block wall there. But it was just, one thing that went very long, and it became the big thing. Like, and you actually picked your time of year to do it, because are the berry bushes, are the thorns out? It was the crazy stuff you grow up with that you think about. Today, of course, you did it, somebody shooting you for trespassing, or there'd be a helicopter overhead, and all the rest of it. So Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, yeah, I heard that a few times at Catholic school. Again, I see the pictures of the nuns. I got along fine with the nuns. I mean, I was okay, but I mentioned my brother did not, and there were some stories of the nuns and things. Crazy stuff. So anyway, I hope folks enjoyed different stuff, and some of the other. Right now, I'm just doing a giant stack of pictures from here's 3 of the 4 boxes from Seattle '62. So 2 weeks from now, that may be the subject. But yeah, it'll be 6 years coming up. So oh wow, just looking here to get 36 slides developed for the 1962 cost $1.85. And that seemed like big money back then, I mean, it's
probably $8 or $9, equivalent to $8 to $10 now.
Yeah.
Easy.
What I get a ticket is you buy these 8mm movies, Disneyland and Disney World, and they were fairly expensive. They were, $20, $30 or so. And you figure out now, yeah, it seemed expensive then, but you realize now that'd be $110 or something for some of the last, 6 minutes. So it's great fun. So I hope folks have good weather. I hope we get rain out here, and we certainly need it. And well, I'll be back in 2 weeks, and hope everybody's doing well. And see you then.
Yeah, Bill, I'm not going to probably be here. Unfortunately, for 2 weeks, the anniversary, I'll try to be here. I'm having surgery in about 10 days.
Oh, goodness.
And so it's something I've been wanting for quite a long time. I finally found a surgeon who would do it, but I've got to go to Boston to have it done.
Oh,
Nothing-
okay.
Nothing serious, I hope.
I've got a abdominal hernia that I've had as a result of previous surgeries, and so
I thought we were going to call you Donna.
Yeah.
I know when he said, I find somebody to do it, I was going to say, oh, and I've always wanted a unicorn horn. What the hell?
But yeah, it's a week from this coming Thursday. I'll probably still be in Boston. I'll try to get a remote connection up, but
Okay.
so,
Best of luck.
Hey,
Yeah,
Bill, you were
thanks.
saying, about comparing prices, how expensive that film or slide processing seemed. In 50 years, are we going to be here discussing how inexpensive the Olympic tickets were?
Yeah.
$7,000 for the opening ceremony. What a bargain.
Well, everything's so relative. I still have, right over here, what you call it, my first Nikon cameras use these compact flash cards, and nobody uses these things anymore. It's just sitting here on the desk. And this is a 512 megabyte flash card, and they were expensive, and that was again, do you keep your pictures on these or you copy them in the hard drive? Then you switch now and you go, okay, this is a 32 gigabyte thing. And I went to buy some 32 gigabytes. I needed them for a specific application at the station. Trying to buy a 32 gigabyte card, people like, oh no, we only do 128 gigabytes. Or I mean, everything as fast as you go, everything changes. But this is why I keep saying, we can go and enjoy all these pictures now. 50 years from now, people that took these pictures on these cards, whether the cards are still going to be good or not, I don't know. But nobody's going to have any way to read them. And nobody's going to be selling these at yard sales. I mean, it's, all these things, like all the World's Fairs and everything, people taking pictures today, I think 90% of them are going to be gone 50 years from now. So I'm glad that I lived in an analog world and can enjoy it.
Have you
But
watched The Pit?
What's that?
oh,
Have
it's
you
a great
watched
show.
The Pit? The HBO show
No.
series?
I-
You should watch it because they have a specific episode dealing with their computers are threatened with cyber attack, and they go analog in an ER with like 100 patients, and just shows you how vulnerable computers are versus paper, and how paper is safe. They can't hack paper.
Oh no! Every now and then we have a day where our computers go down at the police department, and I want to run a plate. I can't. I want to run. Yeah, I mean, and even dispatch is now having to do everything. They do have a procedure that they put in place to do things on paper. For dispatch, because right now you dial 911, you speak to one operator, she codes it up, and then it goes to a second operator, which figures out where the cars are and routes you over the radio. But it's all done computer. Well, when the computer goes out, somebody now has to write everything down and run to the other end of the hall. And if you watch the beginnings of old Adam 12 episodes, there's a thing where cards are sliding along a thing. Well, that's how they used to do it. Well, they took all that out, so now somebody needs to run down the hall, get a car here quick. I don't know where any of the cars are. Hey, is anybody near 1401 East 53rd Street?
Yeah, that's how the airline reservation system used to be. Yeah, they put a card on a little conveyor thing and it'd go to, somebody else to actually punch into the system.
That was EMS dispatch in
You
the
mentioned
60s.
Allegheny, Allegheny Airlines and some of those. Do you remember when they did seats with little pull-off tabs on
I was just going to mention that.
Yeah.
Behind the podium, there was this thing. It had like, red was first class and green was economy. And I'll take 12A and B because they're left. You never had a seat dupe because you couldn't pull 12A and B off twice.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember getting there and they pull the little thing off and stick it on your boarding pass, 18A or whatever. And
Yeah, and when I retired, you call out, or we had the handheld devices. 18A is a seat due, and you have to give both names and all that stuff. The agents would insist it can't be, it can't be. And it's
yeah,
like, I have 2 boarding passes here that say 18A, so it is B. It's like just progress for just for
Yeah.
progress sake, I guess.
Have you seen all the problems with Southwest now that they've gone to assigned seats?
I've flown them several times since they did that. 'Cause my dad lives up in San Jose. I'm probably going to go up tomorrow. I've seen no issues at all.
Oh, that's good because I've read a bunch of
I've read a ton of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, it's good for me because being a pass rider, they put me in the forward section now, which is considered a premium cabin, and that's part of the problem. People, they'll all be jammed in the back, and they want to move up to those empty rows, and they're you can't. It's like you can't move up to first class. They're not calling it first class, and there's no physical divider,
Right.
but it essentially is a higher fare.
Yeah. Yeah. I was on a plane where somebody decided they were going to upgrade themselves, and the flight attendant finally said, if you don't move back, we're going to land it, and you will be upgraded to a very different type of seat.
Oh, yeah.
I feel so bad
that
for
happens
flight attendants.
Yeah, that happened frequently. We had a guy once going to Fort Lauderdale. He decided out of LA he was going to upgrade himself, and I was working up there. I was the purser, and I just said, I can't physically force you out of here, but you're not getting a first class meal. You're paying for your drinks. You're getting your drinks in plastic cups. And when we get to Fort Lauderdale, you're going to be met. And
Yeah.
sure enough, the police were there.
It's entitlement world, huh?
I tried to tell, and this works sometimes. You can't purchase a coach seat and then just walk up because the seat's empty in first class. I try to use the analogy, you can't walk into Nordstrom or Macy's, buy a $300 suit, and then on the way out, put the suit back on the rack and walk out the door with a $1,000 suit.
Right.
So that doesn't make any sense.
No, we had a flight, we were going to England, and I was able to get 2 upgrade. It was me, Carol, and Margot, and I was able to get 2 seats upgraded and to first class. And Margot was really worried because they said, okay, well, she was on standby to move up. There wasn't any other seats, so I came back and said, you and Mom, you can fly first class. I'll sit in the back. And literally, other men stood up and started applauding for me. He said, we're all elected you Dad of the Year. Because Margot kept standing up looking, and I hope I get up, I hope I get up. And I came back. Well, during the flight, they had hot fudge sundaes, which Carolyn knows I love hot fudge sundaes. And she wanted to bring one back, and the flight attendant said something like, you can't bring a first class food back into coach. And Margot stopped me. I mean, so at least I got a hot fudge sundae out of the deal. But yeah, I mean,
if the passenger did it, I wasn't going to. A lot of times, can you walk this hot fudge sundae back to my father in 48C? It's like, no, but you can.
Yeah. Well, we had another thing with Margot that was really cute with the flight attendants, where we flew from here to London, and they had a deal. If you bought coach tickets, they'd fly you for business class to go through the new route from Chicago to London. So she was very young. I mean, she was like 5 years old or something. And we get on the plane, and it was great. Flew business class with these padded lamb covered seats and chocolate chip cookies and everything. So 6 months later, we're going again. They don't have that promotion anymore. We get on the plane, we get to business class, and we have to walk through to coach. And she stops. She goes, I don't like those seats. I want to sit here. So we had to try to tell her that. And the flight attendant was, she was very nice about it, about Margot, we'll take care of you, everything. So when they started making the cookies, you could smell the fresh baked chocolate chip cookies throughout the entire plane. And the flight attendant brought back and brought Margot a cookie, and so I can't give you the seat, but I can give you a cookie. So she was just, and she was very, very happy. Of course, everybody around now wanted a
On a cookie.
But somebody says, like, I want a cookie, and the flight attendant said, well, when you're 5 years old again, come back and I'll bring you a cookie too. But yeah, it was the sort of little thing that made the a 12-hour flight that much nicer for a 5-year-old girl. So I sent a note to the airline thanking them for it. I hope I didn't get the flight attendant in trouble.
Probably not.
No,
Well, the
hopefully.
real thing we want to know is for Don is your surgery next week first class or coach?
I think I'm in economy, right? I can't check a bag.
Yeah, but just don't go standby.
Yeah, I mean, the stitches are extra.
It was fun today, Bill. As I told you a couple weeks ago when we did photographs like this rather than films, it was really exciting because we got to look at each photograph in depth. We did that a lot again today. You know, we zoomed in and out on things and we analyzed things. I guess a lot of us discovered things we hadn't seen before. Certainly for you, Bill, you discovered a few things that you hadn't learned before. So again, I found today thoroughly enjoying. So thank you again.
My pleasure. Well, I'm going to go get a egg roll, Belgian waffle, and what else do we see today?
Chocolate chip cookie.
Chocolate chip cookie and what do you call it? Original and crispy chicken. Boy, it's going to be a hell of a lunch. See you folks later.
Top it off.
Good luck, Don. Really, seriously. Hope everything goes right.
Bye.